Hello everybody, it's Avril from Mitchy Titch Yoga here. I'm with you today to read you Please Stay Here. I Want You Near. A beautiful book in the Bartley Bear series. It's written by Dr. Sarah Mundy and the illustrations are by Rachel Milson-Hill. Now, these books that Sarah has written are very interactive. That means that we can lift the flaps and see, nudge, here, the little squirrel. He asks us lots of questions along the way. But first of all, let me tell you, as I do, a little bit about the author, Sarah Mundy. So, Sarah Mundy from Parenting Through Stories is a consultant clinical psychologist working with many children and families. And when Sarah became a mum, she realised when trying to deal with family life, work, a child growing up through toddler years is really difficult sometimes. Dealing with emotions and feelings of a child and not being able to find books that would help. So she decided to write her own. So as I said, Bartley's books are very interactive picture books for young children and families. They can work through some real tricky situations together, like separation anxiety, which is what our book today is about. Please stay here. I want you near. Tricky behaviour, bedtime routines. Good way to start is to have a good listen to a bedtime story with Avril. Healthy eating, toilet training, and of course the arrival of a new sibling into the family can be a real tricky situation. So Sarah even created a parent's handbook to go along with the story. And as I say, nudges in there, giving us a little nudge and asking us some questions that we can talk about through the book. So this book is to help children, as I say, with separation anxiety, because that time away from your place of home can be quite difficult for little ones. You may be at school or nursery with a childminder, and it can be quite unsettling. So let's see if Bartley Bear can help, shall we? So Sarah sent me a beautiful letter to all of our yogis saying she hopes that we find her book really, really useful, and she's loving that we're going to be reading it this evening. Okay, so without further ado, let's get going. Please stay here. I want you near. Written by Dr. Sarah Mundy and illustrations by Rachel Milson-Hill. Here we go. Oh, look. So lots of good explanations for grown-ups here too. And then into the story. Now, don't you think Bartley Bear is so adorable? I do. I feel like I could give him a big cuddle. This is Bartley Bear. He isn't very old. Mostly he is happy. Sometimes he is bold. When Bartley's in a muddle, he doesn't know what to do. He needs some help from Mum and Dad. Does he sound a little bit like you? Hi there, I'm Nudge. Say hi, Nudge. Do you want to hear a story about Bartley going to school? Oh yes, please. We'd love that, wouldn't we, everybody? Here we go. It was time to go to school, a place he'd been before, but he preferred to stay with Mum because he liked that more. His beautiful school uniform was stripy, red and brown. Mum thought that he looked lovely, but Bartley wore a frown. Oh, there's Nudge in the fridge. Can you guess why Bartley's frowning? Do you think it's because he's going to school? What makes you frown? I'll have a think about that one too. Maybe I'll go to space instead, said Bartley to his mum. He ran to his room and put his spaceman slippers on. As he climbed onto his rocket, Mum said, let's be on our way. But Mummy said it's out of fuel. There's no takeoff today. Look at this planet here in the corner. Oh, we can lift it up. He wants to go to space, not to school, says Nudge. Do you think there's room for me in that rocket? Do you think I'll fit in? The petrol station's on the road. We'll fill up as we go. But he refused to leave the house. I don't want to, no. Oh dear. Even though he liked school, leaving Mum was tough. His tummy felt all funny and tied in knots. He just didn't feel brave enough. I think there's a knock at the door. Oh, it's Nudge. How do you think Bartley's feeling? I think he's a bit nervous if he's got butterflies in his tummy. What could Mummy do to help him feel better about going to school, I wonder? Shall we find out? Let's see. Mum knew that he was worried and gave him a big bear hug. She said he could bring a toy with him. He chose his astronaut Doug. It was nearly time to take off. Their journey had begun. Shoes on, off they went. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Oh, blast off! Oh, what do you think helped Bartley feel okay to leave? Do you think it was because he could take Doug with him? I think it was. What toy would you bring along? Something that made you feel, really safe, I think. Yes. With Mum and Doug on board, Bartley steered around the bends. They zoomed past a planet and overtook some friends. But when they got to school, Bartley wasn't sure. He stopped, looked up at Mum and hid behind the door. Oh, dearie me. Let us see. He looks really worried about going in. Maybe he doesn't want to leave his mum. Do you sometimes feel like that? I know I sometimes feel a bit worried if I'm going to do something that I'm not sure about. Let's see what happens. Let's go and see what's out, said Mum. Now what is there to play with? Doug can have a look around. I'm back later today. Let us see. Poor Bartley's feeling nervous. Do you know, it's normal to feel like that sometimes. As I say, I sometimes feel like that too. I think we all do. Mum gave his little paw a squeeze. He leant in for a cuddle. Hey, there's lovely Mrs. Cook, blowing great big bouncy bubbles. Oh, she looks really nice. Bartley held his mum real close as Mrs. Cook came over. Hi there, we're building rockets. Can you help me make a rover? Let us see. What does Nudge say? I bet he wanted to stay and play, but also go with his mum. It's all ever so confusing. What is to be done? Bartley looked around, and by him on the floor a pile of sparkly shiny bits, gizmos and gadgets galore. Wow, we love a bit of rocket making, don't we? Let us see. And then he spotted Sandy, his favourite little friend. She smiled and said, come on, Bart, help me build this end. Oh, let's see. Hey, do you think Mum could leave Bartley to it now? Whilst Bartley's playing with his best friend? Maybe. Let's see. They were sticking on a handle when Mum said goodbye. He wanted her to stay with him. Please stay and watch this fly. I can't, my love. I have to work. I know it's hard for you. Bartley waved. Okay, bye, Mum. He didn't know what to do. Mrs. Cook came over to help him settle in. She bent down, held his paw, and stroked his furry chin. Oh, she seems so lovely. Mrs. Cook seems nice. I think she'll look after him well. Do you? I'm sure she will. Who helps you to feel better when your mummy and daddy aren't around? We have lots of adults, don't we, that can help us feel really safe and secure. Your rocket looks spectacular. Should Duck steer the craft? Mrs. Cook's good, isn't she? She put him in the driver's seat. This made Bartley laugh. Bartley then played outside on the bikes with Ben. They went around the playground again and again and again. Whoosh, whiz, wee! He looks like he's enjoying himself. What do you like doing the best? Oh, I know what I like doing the best. Why, it's yoga, of course. Next, they read a story about a silly bunny. Can you guess what happened? It was very, very funny. School was nearly over. The children ate their snacks, and before he'd even missed her, Bartley's mum came back. Phew! Even though he was worried his mum might not come back, she did. I bet he worries about that a lot. But, you know, she still always comes back. Of course she does. Bartley ran to meet her with the rocket in his hand. I can't believe you made that. Let's take it home to land. When they got back home, he put his spaceman slippers on. He told his mum about his day. He was glad that he had gone. Doug loved his brand new rocket. He slept in it all night. Bartley had an amazing dream about their galactic flight. Who's here? Oh, it's Nudge having a doze. He must be tired too. He has helped us a lot, hasn't he? Next time he would remember that school was really fun and he would be just fine there without his dad or mum. That story helped me learn that it's okay to be worried. Sometimes about being away from mum and dad. And lots of people can help when you feel like that, can't they? Did you know that already? I'm sure you did. You're so clever. But thank you for reading with me this evening. It was really lovely for you to join me, so I wasn't on my own. So thank you. Thank you to Bartley Bear, and thank you, huge thank you, to Dr. Sarah Mundy for letting us read her beautiful new book. Please stay here. I want you near. And do give her a follow. She'd love that. She can be found over at Parenting Through Stories on all the social media channels. Take care, everybody. Lovely to see you. And as usual, love you all to bits. Bye-bye for now. Take care.